Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Kida studio. Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. Man, I kind of got lost reading the story there for a second. You know, going through the article on something that we will get to here in this segment just a little bit later. We are going to be talking the indictment of President Trump. One of the things they are looking to do to him now, you know, what law professors have been saying about January 6th. That's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious as to how that all plays out. And we'll talk about that in the last segment. We will be talking Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, that little series of things that has been going on there. A lot to talk about on that one. And, you know, I tell you what, it amazes me. You know, it was no surprise when it came out. And, you know, if we were paying attention, then we kind of would have seen the writing on the wall with this one before it happened. You know, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, whenever it actually happened. You know, whenever something fell through the cracks, you know what I'm saying? And we're also going to be talking gun stuff, but let's start with this article right here. This is where we're going to start. Now, y'all know how I like to start the show. I like to throw some satire in there. I like to throw some funny ha-has in there because, to me, that's just fun. Of course it is. But I really wish that I could tell you that this article was one of those satire articles untrue. But unfortunately, it's not. This headline from Fox 2 Detroit. And by the way, this is going to be the only such article on the program today. And I generally like to keep the show very, you know, audience friendly, you know, kind of PG, maybe PG-13, you know, depending on things. But this one, we're getting dangerously close to crossing a line on this one. So, you know, if your kids just do one of these thingies, and there you go. You know, close your eyes. You know, if you can't read, even better. The headline, again, from Fox 2 Detroit. You're going to love this one. Taylor woman charged with performing sex acts on a dog. Yeah, like I said, I really wish I could tell you that this was satire. Unfortunately, it is not. How the story goes, like some gal went into her ex-husband's house and the security cameras later that he watched, he's seen this going on and, you know, called the authorities, and there you go. Ew. I joke about it, but I mean, come on, no. I mean, no. Just no. Like I said, I really wish this was satire. Unfortunately, it is not. But here's the thing, though, and this is what I'm kind of curious about. All right. Where did this happen? This happened in Michigan. Yeah, this happened in Michigan. But I got to be honest with you, okay? They're normalizing things. You know, you no longer have pedophiles. Now we have minor attracted people. You know, people are furries. You know, they identify as dogs and cats, and, you know, got to put litter boxes in schools because some kids identify as a cat. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous out there. It really is. Why is she in Michigan, of all places? You know, why is she, you know, getting charged with? I mean, what if she identifies as a dog? I mean, is I mean, it kind of, it's an aspect of, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't claim this and then that be, that be considered taboo. I mean, if you're going to identify as a dog and you're going to allow that, for people to do that, heaven forbid we actually look at it as a, mental disorder. But, here we are. Is this the world we're living in? Ridiculous. I know it is. It's absolutely, it's like, dude, I seen this article. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're just going to move on. This next article, we're changing gears, changing it a lot, actually. As you could tell, I'm sure from this headline from Fox News, Chuck Todd admits Governor Abbott was right about busing migrants to blue cities. Dems are upset at Biden. And as they should be. I mean, we have an out of control crisis down at the border. It's out of control. It's out of control. And talk about having your cake and eating it too. It's kind of like, because this is one of the things that was going on down at the border. Okay. They brought Border Patrol further inland. They reduced the amount of agents they had down at the border. They reduced, their tech that they had access to. They reduced their budget. They reduced all these things. And lo and behold, we were having fewer and fewer interactions with illegals crossing the border. That's what was going on. And then they were excited about this. Like, see, things are better at the border. It's not so bad. We don't have near as many encounters that we used to have. Hello? Is this thing on? If you have fewer people down at the border, they are farther away from the border than what they used to be. Of course, you're going to have fewer encounters down at the border. It's kind of like are you surprised that this actually happened? Oh, I missed. Little gnat. I hate them. Anyway. He's going to bug the snot out of me. I can tell that already. He's over here somewhere. I don't know where he's at. He's over here. Oh. Okay, anyway. I'll find him. I will. I'm going to get him. Anyway. That's the kind of stuff that they were talking about down at the border. Trying to claim and make it sound like it wasn't as bad as what it actually was. That's what they were saying. That's what they were talking about, and again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either one, these two things can't be true at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But they were mad at Governor Abbott. They were mad at Ron DeSantis for doing the same thing, busing people from, one location to another, to a place that claimed to be a sanctuary city in whatever Florida, or sanctuary city, sanctuary state in California. The whole state's a sanctuary city. Anyway, doesn't matter. But they are the ones who are claiming that we want illegals. But yet, whenever they're getting all these migrants bussed up to them, because Florida didn't ask for this, they don't want this. Texas doesn't want this. Various governors in other states, they don't want anything to do with this. But yet, for some reason, because of Biden policies, because he chose on day one to remove, President Trump's border things, border, the laws, regulations and whatnot, and not to mention ignoring actual laws that was passed by the legislation, ignoring those laws that, he orchestrated all this. Day one, he changed the policies. He removed the Remain in Mexico. He removed a lot of the other things that were going on that were actually working. Stopped the border wall from being built, got the, the nice, beautiful wall down there and are being guarded by people, whatever. And then they, want to complain to, because, they put a barrier in the Rio Grande and all that. That's wrong. I mean, holy crap, they can't do that. You can't do that. You can't put, a barrier in the Rio Grande. You might kill somebody. You might hurt somebody. Wait a second. Don't we have a lot of different places, like razor wire or barbed wire on the top of fences. Isn't that the same type of thing? You're crossing a border you're not supposed to. And holy cow, somebody gets hurt because they crosses something with razor wire. Hello. It's an aspect of, it's ridiculous to me that they want to blame the law-abiding citizen for doing something to protect their border instead of putting the blame solely on the criminal where it belongs. Because, let's face it, if they didn't illegally cross the border in the first place, then they wouldn't have to worry about a barrier being someplace where they're not supposed to be anyway. Right? Anyway, let's move on. No, because, but that's the thing, though. But now it seems as though people are putting the blame right where it is supposed to be. The Biden and his administration, obviously, this is why this is happening. It's orchestrated. We'll get more into some other things that is being orchestrated in a few. Moving on. Now, this is the article that I was reading before I was so rudely interrupted by the clock telling me that, hey, you got to get this show on the road. Because this headline from U.S. News, and there's several different, articles that I was reading in association with this, but let's go ahead and get into this one right here. U.S. News. Illinois Supreme Court upholds state's ban on semi-automatic weapons. Now, this article came out the 11th, so yesterday, Friday, is when this one came out. I'm not surprised, of course, Illinois. I'm not surprised. But they are, that's an interesting looking gun. Look at that. That's a bullpup, I believe. That one right there, above that pistol right there. That's a pretty gun. No, wait, that's not a bullpup. That's a K90, I think, maybe. K90. I think that's a K90. Maybe a K90. It's a bullpup kind of sort of type of thing. I think that's actually a K90 or a P90X. P90X. There we go. That's what it is. K90, P90X. I almost know my guns. That's a nice one right there too. Anyway, let's stop looking at pictures of these guns. I like, guns are pretty. I like them. Anyway, let's stop looking at pictures. So a while back ago, this was in 22, I think. I think it was in 2022. They had this assault weapons banning all kinds of different things for the state of Illinois. And Governor Gravy Sweats, J.B. Pritzker, he very quickly signed this puppy into law. All right. And very quickly after this law got signed, or after this bill got signed into law, there was all kinds of lawsuits with the obvious violation of the Second Amendment on here. There are such things in here. The law bans dozens of specific brands or types of assault rifles and handguns, 50 caliber guns, attachments, and rapid firing devices. No rifle is allowed to accommodate more than 10 rounds with a 15 round limit for handguns. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Coffee, good stuff. The most popular gun targeted is the AR-15 rifle, which can be found in at least 25 million American households, according to a 2021 research of Georgetown University. Now, this law did carve out exceptions. Those who possess a semi-automatic gun before it became effective on January 10th are allowed to keep them, but must register them with the state police by January 1st, 2024. Let me stop right there. They must register their guns as long as you purchased it before the law became into effect. But here's the thing. All right, here's a caveat on this. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but, if I want to purchase a gun, I think there's, most, if not all, gun accessories are included in here. I know ammunition is included in here. You have to have what's called an FOID card, firearm identification card. That's what you have to have. All right. And you have to fill out an application, get sent in to the state police. They run a background check on you before they say you can have this. And then you get your firearm identification card. It's a state issued ID card with your picture. The same information that a driver's license number has or the same information that a driver's license has minus a driver's license number is on your FOID card. It is a state-issued identification card. You have to go through a background check. You got to, say, Father, may I, like your, whoever that kid is with never mind. You got to do that. You got to go, Father, may I, Mother, may I? To get a gun, go through a background check, which, okay, sure, fine and dandy. And then when you want to buy, not ammunition, you don't have to go through this, fill out an application to buy ammunition. They're wanting you to do that, but you don't have to as of yet. But whenever you purchase a gun, you have to fill this out again. Every single gun you purchase in the state of Illinois, you have to fill out a background check. Just, so for every, even if you're only purchasing one gun in the state of Illinois, you're doing two different, filings, background check, FOID going to the state. And you got to register it too, because obviously if you buy this gun and then a week later you buy another one, was like to get your FOID card, you got to do the background check, you got to fill out the paperwork, do that whole entire thing. To buy a gun on, Wednesday, I'm sorry, if you're going to buy a gun on Monday, you got to fill out paperwork again. And you're not getting it the same day, by the way, because you got to wait at least 3 days in order for the background check and everything to come back. And then on Friday, you want to purchase another gun, you got to fill out the same paperwork again. Every single time you got to fill out paperwork, you're registering your firearm, the whole 9 yards. So why in the world do you have to register your firearm again, even though it's already been registered? I don't get that. To me, that sounds like a waste. It is unnecessary. Let's just put it that way. Unnecessary. Moving on with the article. It's ridiculous. Did I mention that, by the way? Oh, yeah. Having to do multiple, but anyway, they want you to register it again, even though it's a firearm that has already been registered. Anyway. In 7 categories of trained professionals, such as police officers, active duty military, corrections officers, and qualified security guards may carry them. Now, here's the thing, though. All right? Because one of the things in here, and it's in the very next paragraph, actually, the Supreme Court case that determined Americans have a right to carry weapons in public for self-defense, they argue that the plaintiffs and those granted exemptions to the ban are similarly situated in that they all hold required firearm owners' identification cards and are protected by the Second Amendment, but are not given equal protection of the laws when the ban was applied to them. Because, this thing says, the whole reason why they did this, I got to scroll back up to the top again, but it has to do with discrimination, because they threw in here a 14th Amendment thing, I think, is what they did, with equal protection. Equality, I think that's what they threw in here. Maybe that was in this article. Yeah, maybe that was in here. Anyway. But one of the things that they're claiming is with the equal rights thing, and considering, it's based off of legislation or whatever. That's why that they allowed this ruling to go through, and why they ruled in favor of the ban and upholding the assault weapons ban. And then later on down there threw an exemption in there for various people, when profession is the only thing that separates these two people. The common citizen and everybody else. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Whenever they're talking about gun deaths, okay, mass shootings, gun deaths, There's a lot of things in here that they don't tell you. One of which being the parameters by which they're giving you these numbers from. When they're talking about murders, they keep in their suicides. That's a little misleading to include suicides in all of this. Whenever they throw, the leading cause of death for children, they are including up to, 19-year-olds in here. Gang-related deaths, very misleading if you chop that off to where they're not gang-related activity and gang-related deaths. Guns is not the number one leading cause of death in children today, nationwide. It's not. Not even close, actually. But they're not going to tell you that at all. They don't tell you that most shootings actually are with pistols, not with rifles. And the term assault weapons is very misleading because assault weapon, now here's the thing, okay? I don't know if you know anything about guns. I don't know if you know anything about ballistics or any of that thing. I'm going to assume that you don't, all right? There is a mini, well, what is that, mini 14? I think it's a mini 14, I think. It looks like your standard, average, run-of-the-mill hunting rifle. That's what it looks like, all right? Wooden stock, regular barrel, nothing special, nothing fancy. And then you have an AR-15. Now, what if I told you that the AR-15, as in a scary military-style rifle, they ban it because it's a scary military rifle. But the Mini 14, which looks like an average, everyday, run-of-the-mill hunting rifle, is not banned. Not at all. It's not banned. Not at all. They fire the same round. You got like a 308, which they say, or which, the gun people would have you say, like, no, well, not the gun people, but the anti-gun people would have you say that the AR-15 is the most deadly weapon there is. It's so deadly, such a weapon. We have to ban this all over the place. It's not the most popular hunting rifle, a 308 is, which has a much bigger round and does way more damage than an AR-15, because the common round on that's a 2.23 or 5.56. A 308 is more like a 7.62. It's bigger. Holy cow, it's bigger. People are ignorant whenever they're talking about this. But you have, the Mini 14, the AR-15, it takes the same round of ammunition. It's the same bullet. The ballistics of the round is the same. But one is scary banned, military grade, and the other one is perfectly acceptable. That's because you're talking about people that are making rules that have absolutely no idea what ballistics is. They don't know guns. They don't know anything about them. And they're stupid and ridiculous. Now, they're trying to send this up the chain, up the line. They're wanting to, send this up to the actual Supreme Court, not the, highly biased Illinois Supreme Court that, of course, they're going to uphold this, which is ridiculous. But yeah, they're wanting to send this up the line. Apparently, it's not over as of yet. I don't know. But yeah. So the assault weapons ban was upheld by the Illinois Supreme Court. So if you are in the great state of Illinois, and you have one of these banned weapons before January, what was that date? January something of 2024. January 10th, maybe? Hold on, let me get my date right because I don't want to give you guys false information. Yeah, January 10th. Nope. You got to register them with the state police by January 1st, 2024. Okay, so beginning of next year, got to register them. Yay. There you go. All right. Let me see, what else do I have before we head on over to the next segment. Nope. And yeah, here we go. Article from the New York Post before we move on. Oh, thank goodness that's not actually playing. All right, so this headline, New York Post. Scientists admits the overwhelming consensus on the climate change crisis is manufactured. They're admitting this. Of course they are. Because it's true. The whole thing is manufactured. Because, okay, I've got some years behind me. Okay? I got some years behind me. I'm not, a totally young pup. What in the world are they playing on the screen? I have no idea. Let's get off of that. I'm not, I'm young by some standards. I'm ancient by others. All right. I'm kind of right there in the middle-aged. Okay. I remember the crises that we've had down the road. I mean, it was acid rain. We're all going to be dead in 10 years. It was global cooling. We're all going to be dead in 10 years. It was global warming. We're all going to be dead in 10 years. It was, ice caps melting because of this, that, and the other. We're going to do something and we're all going to be dead in 10 years. And it was this, that, and the other, and we're all going to be dead in 10 years. It's been every 10 years, there's been a different crisis, and this has been going on for, 60 years. It's been going on for a while. We're going to be dead in 10 years. Guess what? 10 years rolled around, we're still here. 10 years rolled around, we're still here. The ice caps haven't melted. Ocean levels hasn't gone up. In fact, I seen a picture from like a long time ago of not Ellis Island, but Liberty Island, which is Statue of Liberty. And it was from quite a while ago. And then a similar picture was taken 5 years ago. Guess what? The water levels are at the exact same point. Didn't go down, didn't go up. It was almost like there was no change whatsoever. Now, every single one of these things has the same course of action. Give us your money. Carbon tax, give us your money. We'll fix the problem. Global redistribution is all it amounts to, but, I remember one of them, it was, this is happening, so we're going to do this, and it's going to fix the problem, give us your money. And then, the next 10 years rolled around, and it was, hey, the exact opposite, but we're going to do the exact same thing. And, oh, yeah, by the way, give us your money. I mean, it was the same fix for both crises. And, of course, it was give us your money. Here's the thing. We're still here. We're still here. If we were to cut all emissions, if we were to kill every cow, if we were to, ground every plane, if we were to port every boat, if we were to hold our breath, every American, if we were to do that, if we were to turn off every car, if we were to, shut down every semi and diesel engine, never use a generator, never do anything. If we were to shut down every single coal power plant, okay? If we were to shut down every gas stove and if we were to shut down everything, the whole of the United States of America, if we were to do that, do you want to know how big of a change that would actually have on the climate, on global warming? Do you want to know? Like 0.02 degrees Celsius. That's all it would change. the global temperature would go down 0.02 degrees Celsius. That's it. That's it. And that's like in 10, 20, 30 years, something. I mean, like it's something ridiculous. It was a very, very minute thing, 0.02 degrees Celsius. Is that earth-shattering, alarming? No. It's really not. It's not going to change. What in the... Oh. There's still video playing on this stinking thing, and I have no idea as to why. Kind of entertaining, though. Anyway. They finally admitted that the climate change thing is manufactured. I was talking with a buddy of mine's kid, and they were talking, oh, yeah, you know, man-made climate change, global cooling, yada, yada, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, let me ask you a question. And I want you to be honest with me. You know, you say the only thing that can affect global, you know, the only thing that can cause a global shift in climate is man, right? Yeah. Well, explain to me how we had an ice age before the Industrial Revolution. It happened. We know it happened. There's evidence of it happening. So explain to me how that is. And, well, what? You know, explain how that happened if we're the only ones that can affect that. He had no answer for me. You know, I told him how much it would actually change if everything were to shut off. It's manufactured because, you know, because here's the thing, guys. When it comes to weather, when it comes to temperature, okay, do you want to know what causes the standard? You know, I mean, there's a few things that causes the standard. One is the ozone. The ozone does some things. You know, we have UV protection, you know, with the ozone. You know, humidity, you know, with the amount of water around and whatnot. Those cause changes. But, I mean, overall, I mean, like, your biggest thing is the sun. That's your biggest thing that affects climate. It's the sun. So what are we going to do to the sun to lower or raise temperature as we feel it should? Are we going to, you know, fire a nuke into the sun to change it? Are we going to, you know, are we going to fire some big old canisters of, you know, LN2, liquid nitrogen 2? That just sounds ridiculous to me. But the number one thing that affects climate is the sun. We have an atmosphere with hairspray in the 80s that kind of has some damage to it. We kind of stopped that Bravo Sierra, and now things are pretty better now. They're a lot better now than what it used to be back in the 80s because of Aquanet. That was a big hair 80s, man, I'm telling you. I don't know. Don't take my word for nothing. It's the only thing that's going to affect global climate change. Anyway, they admitted it's manufactured. Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, okay? But the government likes to do studies, okay? The federal government, they like to spend money and investigate things. The effects of acid rain on seed germination. Gender studies in Pakistan. They like to spend money on studies. Now, here's the thing. Before they do a study, they already have a desired outcome. And when they do grants and when they do studies, they pretty well tell the scientists involved that this is what we're wanting to do. This is what we think the study is going to show. And if you want government support and government grants and this, that, and the other, you're going to give the government exactly what they want. Otherwise, you're not going to get that money. That's how the government operates. You see, 9 out of 10 scientists said that climate change is a real thing. 9 out of 10 scientists were paid by the government to say that. That's the truth. Just saying what it is. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When I return, we are going to go into, we're going to start talking a little bit about Trump. Some of the stuff that they are saying now. Hold on to your hats, guys. I tell you what, things are about to get, a little on the irritating side. So yeah, Trump, right after this. Be right back.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Have you ever sat down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store just to pick yourself up some? If this has ever happened to you, pick up the #1 most rated toilet paper found in Uranus and use what the professionals use. Angel Soft. See, I'm just not a fan of some toilet paper. Some of them it's like putting a pillow between your nice rosy. Others, like John Wayne toilet paper, it's like using sandpaper. But do what the professionals use. Use the type of toilet paper that is the Goldilocks of brands, Angel Soft. Available wherever toilet paper is sold.
I love that promo. Angel Soft, get yours in stores today. The Goldilocks of brands. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Trump. President Trump, that's whom we are going to talk about. Some of the things that is going on now, and it is no surprise to me that is going on. None whatsoever. I mean, no surprise. Is it a surprise to you? Have you been paying attention to what's been going on in the news? I'm kind of wondering. Because it seems like the whole world is a sandbox and we're all ostriches. Nobody's paying any attention. That's what it seems like to me. This headline from Peacock News. You know what? Never mind. Trump says that he won't sign the loyalty pledge required for first GOP debate. And you know what? I can't say as if I blame the guy. Why? Because he has been on attack since the day he decided to come down the escalator. He has. He has been on attack, not just on the attack, not just on attack from the left. He's been under attack from the right as well. Why should he? I mean, I'm just going to say, why should he sign a loyalty pledge? I mean, either he runs or he doesn't. Okay? And he is the only one right now on the entire field that could win. Okay? I mean, I know that they're talking DeSantis could win, and DeSantis probably could if he would get his head out of his butt on the campaign trail. I mean, he's done some sketchy stuff. I mean, let's just be honest. Okay. For this presidential run so far, he's actually done some pretty sketchy stuff. All right. If President Trump wasn't running on a, normally I would say that it would go to DeSantis, but I think there's some other candidates in there that actually may have a better chance of winning than what DeSantis does. Doing an excellent job as mayor. I ain't taking nothing away from him as being, governor of Florida. He's doing did I say mayor? Whatever. He's doing a great job as governor down there in Florida. Ain't taking nothing away from him. He's already done some sketchy stuff for his, presidential campaign, and it's not exactly looking good. But he's saying that he's not going to sign that loyalty pledge to back and support whomever the candidate may be. And like I said, I can't say as if I blame him. Crap. Nope. Can't play that one. It's wanting to play something, and I don't want to play anything. But what was that article? Let me try to get to it. Where was it? There it is. Federal prosecutor. Okay, yeah. So this headline from MSNBC, and it's actually a video, and I'm not going to play it. Federal prosecutors propose January 2nd trial date for Trump election interference case. Now, here's the thing. With everything that they are, M&C over there in YouTube land, good to see ya. He says, hi, ho, ho. What's up? How you doing? So, but they're saying they're proposing a January 2nd trial for Trump. And like I was saying, I don't see that actually going through because of all of the evidence that they are looking to put, to put in there. All of the exhibit, all of the papers, all of everything. I don't see them doing this trial anytime soon. I really don't. Just going to be honest with you. There's a lot of evidence that they're putting in there. That they're, exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit holy freaking crap, double Z, triple Z. There's a lot. A lot of documents they're going to have to fit, they're going to have to read. They're going to have to go through. And I truly don't see a January 2nd as actually happening. I really don't. The next one, was a January 6th. Okay. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, January 6th. That's not going to happen. But, one of the other things that they were talking about doing is since this trial is taking place in Washington, D.C., that was 95% Democrat support. Is he going to get a fair and unbiased trial in Washington, D.C.? Absolutely not. He's not going to. MSC put in here, goes, they'll wait till right before the election. Normally I'd say they absolutely would, but I mean, like I was saying, though, I don't see it happening just for the fact of the sheer amount of evidence that they're putting in there. The pages, I'm like over 1,000 pages of documents they're putting in here on exhibit. I don't know where it's all coming from, but I mean, you would think that, right before the election, they'd want to do this. And I would think that they would, but it looks like the prosecution has gone overboard with putting, material in here as part of the indictment. It seems like they've definitely gone overboard on this. But back to, where'd it go? There it is. But this article from NPR, will Trump's January 6th trial move to West Virginia? The long-short strategy explained. And like I was saying, I don't see it moving. I really don't. Washington, D.C., he is not going to get a fair, unbiased trial. It's not going to happen. But also, they are not going to move the trial to a place where he may favor better. This is a political thing. Okay, this isn't criminal. None of this crap is criminal. But they're turning it criminal. Why? Because they don't like Trump. The ends justify the means to these people. No, he's not going to be able to get the thing stinking moved. It ain't going to happen one bit at all. It's just not going to happen. Oh, another video. Yeah, I don't want a video. What was that headline? Oh, yeah. Timing of Trump's indictment is not coincidental. And of course it isn't. You know, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've kind of been paying attention to the timeline and how things have been going. You know, things come out about Biden, about Hunter Biden. And then the next day, something comes out against Trump, giving the news media, mainstream media, all the time they need to ignore whatever's going on over in the Biden camp and switch all eyes and turn them squarely onto the Trump camp. That's what's been going on since day one on this crap. Of course, I mean, it's not surprising to me whatsoever. MNC puts in and goes, I see it as they're drawing of straws, trying to find anything stupid. Yeah, they really are. You know, they're looking for anything and everything that they can get them on. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, okay, with the, with all of the, and isn't it amazing how they've completely dropped the whole, classified document thing, which really wasn't criminal. Again, it wasn't criminal. It was civil. And everything fell under the Presidential Records Act. So there wasn't anything they could do criminally. And so now, I mean, where did all that go? Is that still in the works? Is that still going on? No, because they've completely lost on that one and everybody knows it. And so they've moved on to the next thing, and that's January 6th. Okay? But here's the question. There we go. And this article is from The Bulwark. Does the Constitution... Oh, wait. No. We ain't going to that one just yet. If you read that, just kind of ignore that one. Ignore that last article that I put up on there. Okay, so to this one, this is from Semaphore, whatever. Trump's right to free speech is not absolute in January 6th case. How is that not absolute? And I know we talked about this a little bit last week. Because you have, you've got Maxine Waters. You had so many people on the left that were using inflammatory language with the purpose of inciting violence. Crying on how bad what was going on was, and that, that the Democrats need to stand up and do something. Don't sit idly by, do something. And that's what they were doing. Inflammatory speech with the purpose of inciting violence. And, but I thought that was wrong. I thought you can't do that. And it amazes me how, two tweets that they put in there as part of the prosecution was not inciting violence. It was saying be peaceful. And it was support the blue. We all are the party of law enforcement. But somehow that wasn't good enough. Whatever. I don't know if y'all have read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment. But the First Amendment says, the freedom of speech. It's not the freedom of speech unless Democrats. The freedom of speech unless, Facebook says no. It's not the freedom of speech unless, we are having some type of a health crisis and we don't want to spread malinformation, which is actually information that is true, but inconvenient because it doesn't support the narrative. None of that is in there. It is the freedom of speech. That's what it is. It's the freedom of press. That's what it is. MNC put in and goes, have you seen old woman Feinstein and everyone telling her how to vote in the House? She's not even coherent and in a wheelchair. I've actually heard that it's not even her that's actually doing it. It's like her daughter, I believe, the one who's actually pushing the wheelchair, that's kind of pressing the buttons for her, wheeling her around and everything else. That's what I've actually heard. I mean, I don't know how true it is, but yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, she's not coherent. She's not stepping down, which, in my opinion, wouldn't this classify as, like senior citizens abuse? She don't belong there. She's not healthy. She's not coherent. She's not, why is, no. This is abuse. It's abusive. They are not, come on. And if the district of Feinstein lives, if it is so Democrat, they're not going to have a problem getting another Democrat elected. Why does she not just step down? Why don't they just send her out to pasture, live your final years or days or months, however long you have with your family, there you go. It's abuse to do this. I don't care who you are. It's abuse. It's abusive. But yeah, I've seen that she's really looking bad. She is really looking bad. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this. This seems to have happened quick. This was a pretty quick process to, it's like, okay, she's not doing too bad to, whoa. It seemed like because the Dems need her vote. Well, I know they need her vote, but what I'm saying is, it's not like they're not going to be able to put another Democrat right in her chair. Come on, she steps down, there's going to be an appointment. They're going to put another Democrat in there, obviously. They don't need her vote. They need a Democrat vote. And if she steps out of the seat, there's going to be another Democrat put right into it. That's what I'm saying. They don't need her vote. They just need a Democrat to vote. Or a rhino Republican. Good grief. Most of them in the House of Rhinos anyway. Brian puts in there, and hello, Brian, over there in YouTube land. He goes, does this surprise you that the Democrats would stoop to this level? Absolutely not. Come on. Look at what the Democrats have been doing. Of course this doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. I'm surprised they haven't done more. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Anyway, Semaphore, the whole Trump's right to free speech is not absolute. And of which case it's like, how is it not? Again, it's not like they have freedom of speech. They don't have that. It's not the freedom of religion. It's not the freedom from press. It's not the freedom, from you name it. It's freedom of. You have the right to speak, and in all honesty, and they don't really want to acknowledge this one. MSC Pudding goes, Brian, they are stooping under the building. That's hilarious. Yeah, yeah. Free speech, man. Of course you got it. But it's something that they don't want to acknowledge is that, okay, which do you need protected? Something that everybody wants, speech that everybody's okay with hearing, or speech that may be a little uncomfortable to hear? Which needs protected? It's not the speech that everybody wants to hear that needs to be protected. It's a speech that nobody wants to listen to. That's the speech that needs to be protected. And yes, freedom of speech is absolute. It's in the Constitution, for crying out loud. It is absolute. But there is something, something new that I've heard that they're trying to do, says a couple law professors, is they're trying to boot President Trump right off the ballot, saying that he is disqualified from running. You heard that right. That President Trump is disqualified from running in 2024. From the bulwark, and this was the one that I was telling you to ignore earlier, does the Constitution disqualify Donald Trump from running? All right. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid to, comfort to the enemies, blah, 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 blah. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, U.S. Constitution. So they're saying that because they have accused President Trump of insurrection, that the mere accusation disqualifies President Trump from holding office, and if he can't even hold the office of President of the United States of America, then why put him on the ballot? That is the new argument they're throwing in there. But what they're not telling you is, and what they're not going to acknowledge, what they're not throwing in here whatsoever, is nobody whom has been held in jail, whom has been charged with anything from January 6th, not one person has been charged with insurrection or rebellion. Nobody has been charged with insurrection. President Trump, of all the things that they are charging him with, he has not been charged with insurrection. Or at least he hasn't been charged as of yet. But here's the thing. I thought that here in the United States of America, that we were innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. How could he be disqualified for running if he has not been accused at all? Legally or otherwise. There has been no trial. He has not been charged. He has not been found guilty, pled guilty, anything by a jury of his peers. Nothing. But yet they're going to say that just because these two, and they call themselves conservatives, I think not, and I think the proof is in the proverbial pudding that they're not conservative. Otherwise, how could you say something like this? Because Donald Trump hasn't been accused, let alone put on trial for, let alone been found guilty of insurrection or rebellion. So how then could he be disqualified from running as president? Tell me that one. He's not been legally accused of. He's not been put on trial for, nor found guilty of insurrection, but yet they're going to claim that just because some people call it an insurrection, that now that disqualifies him from even being put on the ballot. Isn't that amazing? Let me see if there was anything else I was wanting to get to before we go on another break. It doesn't look like there is. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you want to go ahead and follow along with the articles, follow along with the show, if you want to read what I have watched, because there's other articles in here that, you know, are videos, different interviews that have been done. You can go ahead and check those out. Head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab that's at the upper right-hand portion of the screen. You'll see my magazine on Flipboard, and check that out. All of the articles that I use in every episode, actually, is right in there. There's a lot of magazines in there. I was looking through that. Holy cow, there's a lot of magazines in there. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and go on another break. When I return, we are going to move this conversation over to Biden, Hunter Biden, the Biden family syndicate. That's what we're going to be talking about next, because there's been, some neat stuff that's been popping up. Some dots that have been getting connected that makes things kind of, I wonder what's going on over here. Just a couple minutes, and I'll be right back. Oh, it's about to get good.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs.
All right, and we are back. Tampon brand butt plugs. Get yours today. Because in situations like this, you know, if you're going to blow a gasket, make it that one. Yep, I said that. Oh, that was a good one. We got to laugh, because if we don't laugh, we're going to cry. Especially whenever things like this is going on. We're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Brian puts in there and goes, hey, ho, just a thought. I think Donald Trump should not go to any debates, but instead hold his own debate on an alternative network. Then let's see who gets more ratings. Dude, that's actually a really good idea. One of the things that I heard too, that I don't know if this was something that Trump was talking about doing, or if this was somebody spouting off saying that he should do this. But I heard that Donald Trump was going to be, that might end up going to some of the rallies or some of the debates just to see who should be his VP. I heard that one too, that he just should go and get like a front row seat and be present. I think that too would just be, I think that would be funny. That would be awesome. That would be a big, just like yeah. I like that idea too, though. I really do. Yeah. Brian puts in here, he goes, his record is already proven. That's the thing, man. You see, that's the thing with Trump, and really, DeSantis kind of has the same kind of thing. His record's proven. Trump was president. He's got a record that can't be beat by any modern day president. Can't be beat by anybody on the political left. He can't be beaten anywhere. The Biden camp would say to you, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your crying wallet. Bidenomics is working. Everything is fine. Unemployment numbers are down. Employment participation is up, yada, yada, blah, blah, this many new jobs and this so long a period. And it's all bullcrap. Inflation is up, jobs are down, your money doesn't go as far as it used to. And two metrics that they kick out of the inflation numbers is the cost of energy and the cost of fuel. Things that was in there not that terribly long ago, they take out because if it was in there, would make Biden look absolutely horrible. So they don't want to put it in there. But yeah, he's got a proven record and it's good. In all honesty, Trump doesn't need to go to a single stinking debate. The only commercial he needs to do is, do you remember when America was better? America was great when I was president. All he's got to do is remind people, hey, it's pretty good, right? Even Democrats got to admit. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't need to campaign. He doesn't need to go on a debate field because, this is the thing too, Brian. This is the thing. Everybody, all y'all, this is the thing. Everything is going to be a toss everything at Trump. He's going to get attacked. He's going to get attacked. He's going to get attacked. It's the economy, stupid. He's going to get attacked. Everybody's going to try to one-up Trump. Everybody's going to try to out-Trump Trump. And it ain't going to happen. I think if he goes, he's asking for trouble. I really do. I think the only thing he needs to do is campaign, do town halls, whether it be on the right or on the left. And he proved that he could handle one from the left, because Trump squashed her whenever they did that, town hall on CNN. That didn't look good for CNN, and executives were furious that it looked bad. Brian puts in and goes, worked for Bill Clinton. And I think it would work for Trump. I really do. I wouldn't, if I was Trump, your record, his record speaks for itself. Go on the campaign trail. There you go. The man's going to bring in an arena full of people. He doesn't need to go on the debate stage. Everybody knows where he stands. Everybody knows what he's going to do. He doesn't need to debate. He really doesn't. The only thing that's going to do is allow people the opportunity to out-Trump Trump, and he doesn't need to be there for that. He doesn't need to go there and debate to allow people the opportunity to get to know him. He doesn't need to do that at all whatsoever. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I was him, I wouldn't debate whatsoever. Go on the campaign trail. I do like that idea of, sitting in the front row at a couple debates just to see who's on there. I actually kind of like that idea. I thought that was funny. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. We're talking Joe Biden. We are talking Hunter Biden. We are talking the Biden crime syndicate. That's what we're talking about on this last segment of the show. This headline, and I was just looking at a lot of these headlines come from Just the News. Really good place to get your news. I definitely recommend checking it out over there, justthenews.com. No, they're not a sponsor, but I like what they do. Foreign oligarchs moved millions to Biden-tied firms before meeting Joe Biden, investigators say. Why everybody who writes headlines believe they are Yoda, I have absolutely no idea. But that's what we have. Yoda writes a lot of headlines. The bottom line is on this, they've been doing a lot of investigating, a lot of looking into the money. There's over 20 LLCs that have no other purpose than just to move money as a big shell game. They provide no service. They have no function. They sell no product. It's just moving money. It's a shell game. They're playing whatever that shell game is. They're playing whatever that Monty game is. You know, find the queen, you know, find the red queen, find the red queen. Is she here? Is she there? She's nowhere. Holy crap, that's what they're playing. It's the only function that these things have. There was over 1,000. Let me say that again. Over 1,000. What's that called? SARS reports. You know, suspicious activity reports. Over 1,000 that they had. And I don't know if that was just Hunter Biden. I don't know if that was the entirety of the Biden family. I don't know. But over 1,000 of them. Suspicious activity reports of these various LLCs. That's a lot, people. Did you hear that? Sounded like some barking or something going on out there. Anyway. Moving on, another article. Well, no, another article, not from what I was about ready to say, but what the Hunter Biden bank docs reveal. This is from Fox News Radio. All kinds of stuff in here. You know, I mean, they have been doing a lot of digging into finances from Hunter Biden, from I think like 9 or more different Biden family members with bank documents. That's where they've, you know, been able to find these suspicious activity reports that banks have done on them. And they have been tying money from, we want you to do this, a Hunter Biden meeting where Joe Biden shows up at, money changing hands, and something coming out of the White House. They've been doing a lot of putting dots together, tying some knots, a lot of them. They've been doing a lot of work, you know, with the investigations. Jim Jordan and what's the other guy that's doing, James Comer. The House Oversight Committee, James Comer, and then the Judicial Oversight, whatever. You know, they've been doing a lot of stuff. They've been tying a lot of things together, figuring a lot of things out. And when I tell you it is absolutely clear what's going on, it is bribery. Because, you know, they would have you believe that Hunter Biden had something to offer Burisma whenever he was a crack addict. What were they spending millions of dollars on a year for Hunter Biden? What were they spending their money on? Were they spending their money on a crack addict that brought nothing to the table, or was it access to Joe Biden? They were buying access. Emails saying, hey, we need help from the White House because if we don't have help from the White House, we're going to be gone. We're going to be shutting the doors. We're going bankrupt. The same, Burisma that Hunter Biden worked for. Next thing you know, there's a meeting. Next thing you know, there's a phone call. Fire the prosecutor. You ain't getting this $1 billion. Quid pro quo. Was he impeached for that? Are they talking impeachment for that? No. But they wanted to do that for, the president whenever it was hey, can you guys, do some checking on some things? Here's the money, by the way, but could you? And then they wanted to, impeach President Trump, but yet you ain't getting the money if you don't fire the prosecutor, and I'll be damned, the sons of bitches did it. And then money was transferred. Confirmed, money changed hands from Burisma. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Hunter Biden was enriched. Yes, Vice President Biden was involved in this. Yes, the vice president did things to benefit people, foreign entities. Joe didn't have to directly take money in order for it to be considered a bribe, because the statute says that anybody, if a family member benefits, then that's bribery. Hunter Biden benefited because Hunter Biden, the Biden brand was Joe, because Hunter brought nothing to the table. Hunter was a crack addict that brought nothing to that, had no skills, no training, didn't know anything about energy, nothing about Afghanistan, and nothing about Ukraine, and still nothing about the Congo, and still gets paid millions of dollars for knowing nothing. I mean, how much does his finger paintings sell for? Anybody hanging them up in their living room? Is that a conversation starter? A Hunter Biden art piece? Yeah. The bank documents, they are finding a lot out in this investigation. Let's move on. And then we have, not that long ago, the plea deal collapsed. And that was, when was that? July 26th? Yeah, Department of Justice, July 26th. So yeah, that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay. But the Hunter Biden Delaware plea deal, it collapses. Now, there's some interesting things about this. Okay. Some interesting things about this. Because one of the things that the oversight committees has been wanting to do is talk to people. Hey, we're going to bring you in for questioning. We want this. We want that. We're going to bring this person in from questioning. And as of yet, everything has been getting stonewalled. No, you can't investigate this. You can't talk to this person. You can't have this information. You can't have this piece of paper. Why? Because this is part of an ongoing investigation. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Oh, okay. Then in July 26th, standing in front of a judge with the sweetheart deal. By the way, who was the prosecuting attorney? I believe it was Weiss. Yeah, I believe he was it. Gets this sweetheart deal. Basically, doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. And then one of the things that the judge asks is, hey, it looks like there's, immunity in here. And so what I'm curious about, is there any other things that I should know about? Is there any additional investigations that's going on? Is there something that he might get charged with in the future? This weighs a few things. And, I want to be clear on this. Is there any additional investigations is currently in the works? They tried to ignore, they tried to cover this up. They tried to sweep this under the rug, but since the judge specifically asked this crucial question, are there any other investigations going on into Hunter Biden? Well, he had to say, well, yeah, there is. Does this provide immunity for that? Well, not really, no. And that's whenever the whole thing fell apart. Because you see, if they were done investigating Hunter Biden, then they can no longer claim that, hey, we can't allow you any information. We can't allow you, any contact with these people because of an ongoing investigation. If they allowed the door to be closed on any investigation, then they would have everything they wanted. They could be able to talk to whom they wanted to talk to. They couldn't stonewall. They couldn't stand in the way. They couldn't impede on what the Oversight Committee and the Judicial Committee were doing by claiming that it was part of an ongoing investigation. The whole thing fell apart. There is no more plea deal. There is no more sweetheart deal. That is dead. Then, I believe it was, whatever day it was. I think it was Friday. No, wait, Thursday. Then on Thursday, FBI experts say, then this headline is from Just the News, FBI expert says that evidence now justifies bribery, money laundering probe of the Biden family, the entire Biden family. From the Washington Free Beacon, House Republicans will subpoena Biden family, the entire Biden family. This comes out on Thursday, and then lo and behold, what happens yesterday? What happens on Friday? This headline from Fox News, Attorney General Garland appoints Hunter Biden investigator David Weiss as special counsel. The investigations aren't over. Oh, you want to talk to the entirety of the Hunter Biden family? Oh, can't do it. Oh, gee, I'm sorry, you can't, because it's part of an ongoing investigation. The same guy that tried to give Hunter Biden the sweetheart deal after illegal gun possession, which could be argued multiple illegal gun possessions, lying on a federal form of, no, I wasn't, I'm not, using crack, and trying to get a firearm. No. That I would never do something. I'm Hunter Biden. No, I would never do that. The same guy that tried to give the sweetheart deal now is appointed special counsel. Even though we were told that he doesn't need special counsel, he has all the authority that he could possibly want. He doesn't need. Hey, we don't need any of that. Special counsel. Okay. Do you think this thing is a cover-up? Do you think this is being done to protect the Bidens? I absolutely think so. Absolutely, I do. I mean, come on. A day after the Republicans announced they're going to dive deeper into the Biden family, now AG, when they're special counsel. Cover up. Cover up. Can you say cover up? I know that you can. Infuriating, people. I seen this from Fox News. Republicans building impeachment case against Biden. And then I seen this one, which I thought was hilarious. Republicans say an impeachment inquiry is just an investigation. That's not what they said about Trump. You know, I love it that they're like, you know, you got Mitch McConnell, who needs to go. I mean, the man needs to go, needs to be sent out to pasture, needs to be done, period. You know, says that, oh no, we can't do that to Biden. Why the hell not? The Democrats decided they were going to impeach Trump the moment he came down the escalator. They impeached him over a fake dossier. Russia collusion, which was false. They knew it was false whenever they did the whole, the FISA warrant application of crap. They knew it was false then. They impeached him over a crappy phone call. Whenever you have the thing that Trump got accused of, Joe Biden did and admitted to on national TV, but we can't talk about that. What do you mean we shouldn't impeach Biden? We shouldn't only impeach him. We need to lay out the facts so clearly. And here's the thing. We have enough already, people. We have enough. Nancy Pelosi said that impeachment is whatever the hell we say it is. Of course we can impeach him. Why do we need to walk on eggshells for the Democrats? Why? Tell me why. Oh, it's going to backfire on us. It's only going to backfire if you don't do what you fucking promised you were going to do whenever you were on that campaign trail. You want to know why President Trump was the most effective, most popular president we've had in modern history? Because he said what he did and he did what he said. Mess with us, we're going to shove a bolt up your butt. Should call Trump Zeus. He didn't take no crap. Would what's going on in Ukraine right now happen under a Trump presidency? No. Want to know why? Because Trump would have done something about it. Is Biden? No. Trump didn't take crap. He made campaign promises, and every single one of them he was able to do, he freaking did. He moved the embassy in Jerusalem from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Why? Because he made the campaign promise, and he kept it. Is he the only president that has ever made that campaign promise? No, he's not. Barack Obama made that same campaign promise. I believe both of the Bushes made that campaign promise. Clinton made that campaign promise. Reagan, I believe, even made that campaign promise. The only one in modern history to actually do it was Trump. Even though they told him, no, you can make the promise, you just can't do it. It would look bad. It would be bad. You know, we don't want to create any more turmoil in the Middle East. But President Trump said, you know what? I made a promise on the campaign trail. The American people seem like they really need to do this. They really want me to do this. I'm not going to make an empty promise and not do what I can and follow through. Every campaign promise he made that he was able to follow through on, he freaking did. Period. That's why they hate him. That's absolutely why they hate him. We have all the information we need. Now, one, we didn't even need half the crap that we needed to do it if we were the Democrats. the Democrats, a tenth of the information they had, they would have impeached President Trump for. We don't even need half of what we have to put out the argument. But with all the information that we have, we could do the proceedings tomorrow. Well, let's wait until Monday to impeach Biden. Lay out everything. Put it in front of not just the American people, but the Rhino Republicans and the Democrats. And put it out there. This is what you said about Trump. This is what you impeached Trump for. This is what Biden did. Here's all the proof. Here's every single bit of it. Point after point after point. I'm out of fingers. I'm out of toes. Let's see which way this thing goes. Force them to admit this whole thing is political. We're not removing Biden from office because this isn't about right. It's not about wrong. It's about politics. It's not about right and wrong. It's about right and left. And if Trump is right, that's all they need to know. Orange man, bad. Lay all the facts out there. We got plenty of it. Put it out there. Make the Democrats. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. That's why Mitch McConnell doesn't want this to happen. This is why establishment Republicans doesn't want this to happen. This is why I would even bet money that McCarthy doesn't want this to happen. They have way more than what they would ever need to put the information out there, the evidence, the proof, all the papers, everything. Here you go. Let's have a side-by-side comparison between Biden and Trump. This is what you did for Trump. This is what evidence we have on Biden. Everything that he was accused of and didn't do. And yet everything that Biden is accused of and, hey, look, he did it. And what you going to do now? Are you going to impeach him, remove him from office because you said that, oh, no. When it was Trump up there getting impeached, this ain't political. And then you're going to force him to admit it absolutely is political. That's why they ain't going to do it. That's why it ain't going to happen. You wonder why conservatives, mainstream Americans doesn't like the Republican Party? This is why. Exhibit A, Your Honor. Republicans are shit. Shit, I'm out of coffee. I got water. Oh, yeah. Now that's some high quality H2O. Who am I kidding? This is tap. Y'all's picking up what I'm throwing down. You get it? You understand? You know, this is why I don't just vote party line. I don't. You know, this is why, in my opinion, you know, it's like, okay, let's, for instance, okay. In 2016, I did not vote for Trump. I did not vote. You know, I voted, don't get me wrong. I just didn't vote for a president because it was a choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I, at the time, wasn't impressed because I've heard campaign speeches from Republicans in the past and not impressed. You know, and my outlook is I ain't voting for you just because you're a Republican. You know, the lesser of two evils, I'm still choosing evil. I have a hard time doing that. You know, but to my surprise, President Trump proved himself to be the best candidate that America has offered since Ronald Reagan, and arguably, and based off of, you know, evidence, President Trump is the most effective president we have had in modern history, even better than Ronald Reagan. I was proud to have voted for him in 2024. 2024. I will be proud to vote for him in 2024, but I was proud to have voted for him in 2020. You're damn straight I was. I'd do it again in half a heartbeat. Republicans don't just vote party line. That's why even though there are more Republicans out there and the numbers are growing for registered Republicans nationwide. Well, how can you say there's more Republicans? Because there's a lot of people that aren't registered. Democrats register. Democrats show up early and vote often. Republicans don't. To a Republican, you have to earn my vote. Just because you put the R next to your name, that doesn't mean shit. You have actual Republicans, and then you have rhinos, which are Republican in name only. Your policy is going to say whether or not I'm going to vote for you. Are you a Republican? Are you an elephant? Or are you a rhinoceros? If you're a rhinoceros, I ain't going to vote for you. If you're a rhino, I'm not going to vote for you. Why? Because that's not a Republican. You're a Democrat. That's what a rhino is a Democrat that puts an R next to his name. The Republican wing of the Democrat Party, that's what it is. That's what a rhino is. True Republicans don't vote for rhinos. True Republicans aren't going to get out and vote just because you're a Republican. I think I screwed up whenever I said that. True Republicans ain't going to vote for you just because you're a Republican. Because they know you're a rhino. They know that you're the Republican wing of the Democrat Party. They're not going to vote for you just because you are a rhino, because you say Republican, because you're not a true Republican. That's all there is to it. And yeah, there is more of us than there are of Democrats. Trump got a lot of people to come out and vote for him because they've seen something of themselves in him. Blue collar man. Blue collar millionaire. Have my vote in half a heartbeat. That is really all I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. It has been fun. So I've got some things that I'm working on for this upcoming week. I've got some interviews that I'm wanting to do. I'm just waiting for some information from some people to get some scheduling down. And this week, I'm hoping to do 4, maybe 5 shows. Just interviews with various content creators. I am excited about this. It's going to be pretty stinking awesome. Times are going to vary throughout the day. Like I do have a restriction on Thursday because Ho Ho Studios is going to be used by another member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So obviously I'm going to be time restricted on Thursday, but the rest of the week, things will be good. Brian says later. Later, man. You have yourself a great one. All right, guys, that's all I got. Y'all take it easy. I will see you in the next one.
This has been The Ho Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.